course meal came to a total of £15. Our last day in Hoi An was a relaxed one. Renting bikes from our hotel, we took a 30-minute cycle to the local beach and lounged around with some cocktails. Later that evening, we thought we'd end our time in Hoi An returning to the place where we first fell for it, albeit this time we travelled the same path as they would have done 500 years ago. Three hours north of Hoi An lies the important city of Hue, Vietnam's old imperial capital. Since the 1800s, it's had an illustrious history, primarily for being the home to the last of its emperors. Now the city is a lively one, with a busy nightlife, restaurants and cafes, but all sitting comfortable amongst its historical roots, which have not been forgotten. These roots are on no better display than the imperial city. This whole citadel, complete with its vast landscape, palace grounds and gateways, took 27 years to complete and is one of the largest architectural complexes in all of Vietnam. On approach, the walls of this massive fortress are striking. The insides tell stories of those who both lived and died here, with only 10 major buildings still remaining out of the original 160. Hue is surrounded by 7 royal tombs, all elaborate resting places for the Nguyen dynasty, ruling from 1802 to 1945. There are countless tours that visit these tombs, with 2 of the most popular being Mun Man and Khai Dinh. Mun Man was the second monarch of the Nguyen dynasty and was generally a well-liked emperor due to his policies expanding and stabilizing Vietnam. Covering 15 hectares, it's easy to spend an hour here as the tomb and grounds still stand in great condition. A short drive away is the tomb of Khai Dinh. This is a much smaller tomb, possibly reflecting that he was largely an unpopular emperor at the time. Reigning during French rule, he was generally perceived as a puppet with little actual power. Khai Dinh was the country's second to last emperor ever, with his successor ultimately abdicating, thus ending the Vietnamese monarchy in 1945. Unlike Hoi An, Hue felt much more lived in by its locals. When we weren't peeking into its history, we were seeking out its hospitality. We rediscovered a Vietnamese coffee that didn't involve a chicken and stuffed our mouths with some great food whilst we were here. The hotel we were staying in actually had its own spa, and as you can see here, we enjoyed it thoroughly. These 2 days flew by and we were already packing for our final domestic flight, which would take us to Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam's most populated and forward-looking city. Especially after the relatively laid-back Hoi An and Hue, Ho Chi Minh City was a bit of a shock to the system. As we had been sinking south, the temperature had been climbing. Now hovering at 30 degrees, this was double what we had in Hanoi. Previously known as Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City was officially renamed after the Vietnamese revolutionary and politician. One thing we finally did get to witness here in all of its glory is what it really means to cross a road, with over 7 million motorbikes in this city alone. So, inspired by the locals, we semi-confidently put our lives into the hands of the oncoming traffic. Not deterred, many a road here would be crossed and conquered as we strolled further around the city. After getting some high-quality drone shots, dusk began to settle on the city, with the neon signs energizing the streets. It was here where the uniqueness of Ho Chi Minh City really became apparent. Walking into the main promenade that leads up to City Hall was one of the moments in this trip, and where the city truly comes alive. Before arriving in Vietnam, I'd asked our followers if you had any dining suggestions for the trip. In response, we'd been informed of the lovely sounding Secret Garden restaurant. We liked what we'd seen on Google Maps and thought we'd give it a go. Upon arrival, however, to this rather inauspicious entrance, this was either a genuinely secret restaurant